everybody, and welcome along to Transfer Talk.
So that Cunha signed for Manchester United for 63, then they think, hang on a minute. If Cunha is worth 63 and Mbeumo is at least worth the same, if not slightly more, considering how many goals, considering he scored more goals than Cunha, he's younger than Cunha. So this is why the two clubs haven't agreed yet anything. But if you're Mbeumo now, you know that Thomas Frank is going to try to hijack that. We know already, there's been talks already between Tottenham and Brentford over Mbeumo, between Frank and Mbeumo too, about the possibility of taking him to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So if it's on paper for Bryan, the two offers, I would suspect similar wages, and the two clubs agree fees, he would have to choose. Surely he will go for Champions League football. There's a point where I agree with Nathan, at some point United will get back to being better than Spurs year after year, like they used to, no problem. But we don't know when. And for now, Champions League, which is a massive pool for any player, anybody. Bryan Mbeumo has never played Champions League football. When he was in the French second division, he never thought he would play Champions League football. Now he's got the chance of playing Champions League football with a manager that has made him the player that he is now. There's no doubt for me that he would choose Spurs over United.
Couldn't quite get that one done before the deadline. You still think that'll happen?
It's interesting, this, because now the spectre for Manchester United is Thomas Frank imminently arriving at Tottenham Hotspur, and he would desperately like to have Bryan Mbeumo at Tottenham Hotspur, and he can offer Bryan Mbeumo Champions League football. The information we have as it stands is that Mbeumo wants to go to Manchester United. A lot of that deal on the personal terms side have been agreed in principle. It's just whether Manchester United and Brentford can agree on a fee. Now, there has been one bid of £45 million plus £10 million in performance-related add-ons. That makes it around £55 million package, which Brentford have rejected. There's a school of thought that their feeling is, well, if Matheus Cunha has arrived to Manchester United for £62.5 million, well, Bryan Mbeumo is worth at least £62.5 million. So Manchester United will need to raise their offer. We expect United to go back in. And as I say, as it stands, it's United who are in the driving seat for it. But I'm told just never to rule out anything. And the Thomas Frank situation just might have added a bit of a dimension to a potential, shall I go to Tottenham because I know the manager and I've got Champions League and I don't really have to move home, or do I go to Manchester United? Much publicised financial issues have Manchester United, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe even said as much in some of his interviews. It doesn't mean that Manchester United went into this transfer window with £0 as their budget for transfers. Clubs will be run, all right, we've got this much for transfers, we've got this much for restructuring and whatever else they're budgeting for. And yes, the optics haven't looked great from a Manchester United perspective with regard to the number of redundancies and the number of jobs that have been lost. However, the understanding we have is that players like Cunha and Mbeumo, that's part of the budget that Manchester United have to spend in this summer transfer window. When you go further with regard to Gyökeres, so if you think about how it's worked out so far, they've brought in Cunha already. They've made a bid for